Hop on board, folks. This is a slideshow of my custom Thomas and Friends promo image recreations. In other words, I downloaded Thomas and Friends promo images and I made some edits to it. For some images, I inserted colorful caption, and for others, I changed the filter. This is a promo of Thomas from Season 1. I love Thomas's shade of blue paint in this image, and I also love his smile. Thomas's shade of blue looks very dark and rich, and his smile looks very adorable. Here's another promo image of Thomas from the Season 1 episode Thomas and the Breakdown Train, retitled Thomas Saves the Day in the US version. I love the lighting of Thomas's blue paint in this image, as it's very splendid, and I also love Thomas's smile. Here are 3 promo images of Edward. I like Edward's shade of blue paint in this image. I like Edward's shade of blue paint in this image also. Edward looks better in this image than in the previous image. Edward's shade of blue paint looks fine in this image, and personally speaking, it's hard for me to decide which of the 3 is my favorite. Now here are 2 promo images of Percy. I love Percy's shade of green paint in these 2 images, but I like Percy's shade of green paint better in the next image. I think Percy has a better shade of green in this image. Now, here are 3 promo image editorials of Thomas and Bertie from the Season 1 episode Thomas and Bertie's Great Race. I personally love Thomas's shade of blue paint in this image. Don't get me wrong, Bertie looks splendid too. So, I inserted 3 variants of this image, and all 3 have the text Thomas and Bertie in blue and red letters, but each of the variants have different font. I use the app Text on Photo to insert the text. Now here are 3 variants of a Thomas promo from the Season 2 episode, Saved from Scrap. This variant of the image is my favorite. So these next 3 images are of Edward from the same episode, and I personally like this image as Edward's shade of blue paint looks very splendid in it. So Edward's shade of blue paint in this image looks very splendid too. So here's a promo image of both Thomas and Edward from the same episode, Saved from Scrap. I love their shades of blue paint in this image, and I also love their smiles. Here are 7 promo images of Percy from Season 2. 3 of them are variants of the same image. 5 of the images, including the 3 variants, are from the episode A Cow on the Line, while the other 2 are from the episode Percy and the Signal. Coming up now are 3 Thomas Gets Bumped promos, and the first 2 images that you'll see are deleted scenes of the episode. Thomas's shade of blue paint looks very dark and rich in this image, and he's wearing my favorite facial expression. This image is my favorite out of the 6. This is the final promo image of Thomas Gets Bumped. I love Thomas's shade of blue paint in this image, and I also love his smile. Coming up now are 3 Trust Thomas promos. I love this image as Thomas's shade of blue paint looks very splendid in it, and I also love his adorable smile. I like this image too, but the previous one is better. This image of Thomas along with the previous one are deleted scenes, but I still love the images. And here is my favorite image out of the 3, as Thomas's shade of blue paint looks very splendid in the sunlight, and I also love the smile on his face. Coming up now are 3 different edited variants of a Thomas and Percy promo from the Season 4 episode Thomas and Stepney. I admire Thomas's shade of blue paint along with Percy's shade of green paint in this image, and I also admired their smiles in this image. I inserted the caption that says Thomas and Percy in blue and green letters in white outline on the top for all 3 variants. This promo image of Thomas and Percy is from the Season 4 episode Thomas and the Special Letter, which is the 100th episode of the Thomas TV series, and it's my favorite episode of Season 4 along with Thomas Meets the Queen. Thomas's shade of blue paint along with Percy's shade of green paint look very splendid in this image, and their smiles are very adorable. Here is an edited version of the promo image, as I inserted both their names beneath each other. You can see that I matched their names with their paint colors. In this variant, I inserted text that says Thomas and Percy in blue and green letters, and of course I used the app Text on Photo. Coming up are 3 variants of this Thomas promo from the Season 4 episode Thomas Meets the Queen, my other favorite Thomas episode of Season 4. I love Thomas's shade of blue paint in these 3 images, and I also love his smile. Coming up now are 3 variants of this Thomas promo from the same episode. I love Thomas's shade of blue paint in these 3 images, and I also love his smile. If I were to create an app art exhibition, these 3 pieces will be displayed, amongst many others, of course. Here's the last variant. I admired that in all 3 variants, Thomas's smiling expression can be clearly seen. Plus, I love his shade of blue paint as it looks very dark and rich in all 3 variants. And I made these variants. Welcome to Season 5, as this promo image says. Now then, aside from this image, Thomas does not wear this smiling expression at all during Season 5. But I love this image because Thomas's shade of blue paint looks nice and splendid along with his smiling expression. This is a promo image of Thomas and Percy from the season's first episode, Cranky Bugs. I love their smiles and their shades of paintworks. Here's another image of Thomas and Percy from the episode, featuring Cranky in it. Coming up now are 3 variants of this image of Thomas from the episode James and the Trouble with Trees. This is the first variant. The font of Thomas's name is different in each variant. Here's the second variant. Here is the third and final variant. Here is a promo image of Percy from the episode Put Upon Percy. His shade of green paint looks very splendid. Here's a promo of Thomas and Percy from the same episode, and they both look splendid in this image. Here's a promo of Percy from the episode Thomas, Percy, and Old Slow Coach. His shade of green paint looks very dark and rich. Here's a promo from the episode Happy Ever After, and as you can see, Thomas and Percy are both in it, and they look very splendid. Here's a promo of Thomas from the Season 6 episode, The Fogman. I love Thomas's smile and his shade of blue paint in this image. Here's another promo of Thomas from the episode Elizabeth the Vintage Quarry Truck. And here's another promo of Thomas and Percy from the episode The World's Strongest Engine. And lastly, here is a promo of Thomas from the episode Percy and the Haunted Mine. Here's a promo of Thomas from Season 7. I love Thomas's shade of blue paint and his smile. And here is another Thomas promo from Season 7. This time, he's facing the opposite direction. Now here's a promo of Thomas and Bertie, and coming up next are promos of Thomas with Harold, Percy, James, and Toby. Here's Thomas and Harold. Here's Thomas with Percy, and this one's my favorite. Here's Thomas with Toby. Lastly, here's Thomas with James. And here are two promos from the Season 7 episode, Emily's New Coaches. Here's a promo of Thomas and Fergus from the Season 7 episode Bill, Ben, and Fergus. Here's a promo of Thomas rescuing Fergus in the episode Thomas and the Search for Fergus. Coming up now are 5 promo images from the final episode of the season, Hooray for Thomas. Well, those are all the promo images we have. Thomas's shade of blue paint looked nice in all of the images, and so did his smile. Here's a promo art of Thomas. Now here's Percy. I decided to display this promo image of Thomas and Percy for a second time. I hope you guys don't mind. See you next time!